What's up, TikTok? I hadn't been live in a minute, so I had to get on here because I learned two bits of important credit news, two bits of news in the last couple of weeks that I think you might find interesting. Two bits of important credit news, two bits. First of which, today I found out TransUnion is being sued by the CFPB, the Consumer Federal Protection Bureau. They're being sued. Why? Because they found they pretty much they've got evidence. They're saying that the TransUnion has been misleading people. They've been selling people's info. They've been kind of tricking people into memberships. All kinds of stuff. So we want to see how that lawsuit goes, but they just processed this lawsuit. The CFPB sued TransUnion. And why that's so important is because it just goes to show, I teach people how to dispute items on the credit report. And with my online DIY system, a lot of people wonder why that is so necessary. And it's because, hey, these credit bureaus are selling information and doing a lot of stuff. And they're selling personal information. They're not always following the rules. That's what I'm getting at. They're not always following the rules. And that's why you got to know your rights according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act and all the different laws. It's because like TransUnion and the other bureaus, they'll do what they can get away with. But the CFPB is saying that they're not going to let them get away with this nonsense. So we're going to see how that turns out. We're going to see if the charges are true. So 2 bits of important credit information. 2 bits. TransUnion got sued by the CFPB. And the second bit of information I learned a couple weeks, week and a half, something like that. The 3 credit bureaus, they get together and they are going to. So what I found, a lot of people ask me they ask me about the getting negative items removed from the credit report. They ask about my online DIY system. Some people have medical collections on their report, right? And a medical collection can hurt your credit score from 60 points up to 120 points. Depending on where your score is at, you get a medical collection that can drop it 125 points. So they can hurt it pretty big time. Well, the 3 bureaus have decided to make a decision that's going to impact a lot of people, that's going to help a lot of people improve their credit score. So, and what they're going to do is they're going to not, if you have a medical collection, right now until July 1st, right now, if you have a medical bill that goes into collections, you have 6 months. You have 6 months before it shows up on your credit report. Usually that's how they've been operating. July 1st they're going to adjust that up to a year. They're going to go from 6 months to a year. So if you had a medical bill that went to collections, it's not going to show on your credit report for right now at 6 months. It will be a year after July the 1st. Also, they decided that any medical collection, I think it's under $500 after July 1st. If you get a medical collection that's under $500, that's not going to be shown on your credit report. So after the first year, if it still is, they're not going to consider that. Here's something that's crazy. They said most collections that show up on the credit reports, the vast majority were like for bills under $100. That's crazy, isn't it? That is so crazy. How do people get medical bills on their credit report anyway? I mean, obviously, you get the thing where maybe you were sick, you weren't able to work for an extended period of time, and you couldn't pay the medical bill. But then you also got a lot of people, they have a situation where they go to the hospital for something, give the insurance card, and then the insurance company either messes up the billing, doesn't get it processed, and then all of a sudden, you thinking it's taken care of, all of a sudden you get this account sent off to the credit agency. So, but anyway, the 3 bureaus have made some decisions that hopefully that'll help some people. They And if you're tuning in, hey, go ahead and tap that screen for me. Appreciate it. Go ahead and tap that screen. Where was I at? Let's see here. 6 months, year after July 1st, $500. So yeah, if you pay the medical, if you have a medical collections and you pay it within that year after July 1st, it will not impact your credit. So that's good news. And that's going to help a lot of people, hopefully. So, but now if you have a medical collection and it doesn't get paid after the year, it will still impact your credit. So that's where I come in. You know, my system has a HIPAA violation letter, which basically medical collections, they're a violation of HIPAA anyway, because it's your medical provider selling your personal information without your consent. And you can get things removed because of that HIPAA violation. You know what? Let me take some time to follow some people too. Let me see here. Who we got watching here? Let me follow some of y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. Christian, Yvette, I'm following you both. So anyway, so there's the two pieces of information. The two pieces of information. You got the medical collections that they're going to change the way they're being reported, and a lot of people are going to get. That's going to help a lot of people. And then CFPB is suing TransUnion. That's big. So I can't wait to see what's going to come of that CFPB thing. Because you know these part of the reason why you can get negative items removed is because these credit bureaus. I appreciate it, Isabel. Quarantine too. I hadn't seen that, but cool. Where was I at? I forgot where I was at. Where was I at? Anyway. Oh yeah, CFPB suing TransUnion. What it shows that they just doing what they want to do, you know. And you got to watch. You got to keep an eye on your personal information. You got to keep an eye on your credit reports. So one of the things that the CFPB is accusing TransUnion of. So if you download your credit report from annualcreditreport.com, what TransUnion was doing, what the CFPB is claiming. Richard, what's up? They're claiming that TransUnion would kind of set up their site so that you would kind of sign up for their credit score or some of their other services. See, what a lot of people don't know, you can get your credit reports free from the three bureaus, free once a year. Normally it used to be once a year, but now you can do it once a week. But regardless, you can get your credit reports free from the three bureaus. But now when you go to annualcreditreport.com, if you're not careful, I've had some people tell me this, you know, you might want to try to get your score. You got to pay for your score. And then they may try to sell you other services, but you just need your report. If you want to sign up for the service, that's up to you. But they would kind of position things and make so that you would accidentally sign up for services or accidentally pay for your credit score. And then they're saying that they make it impossible or very confusing on how you can cancel. So that's just one of the things they said they were doing. That was a big thing. And of course, and just making misleading statements. Pretty much the same thing, just tricking people into paying extra for some of their other services. So, but what I bring that up to show you is that these credit bureaus, they're big business too. And if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention, if you're not, educated or informed, I should say, on what's going on, they'll take advantage of you. But that's why my online DIY service is so important, is because it's educating people, it's empowering people, it's putting the information in people's hands. And it's so very important because, I don't know what's going to happen with this housing market. Prices going up, interest rates going up, inventory's down. And of course, about the inventory of cars. So everything's going to be up. It's going to be so important to have a good credit profile. Else you're going to get taken. They're going to wear you behind out when you go to rent a home or buy a home or buy a car. You are going to get it if you don't have good credit. If you're not informed financially, they're going to get taken advantage of. And that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You got to know where you want to go, put together a plan, and work the plan. That's one of the big lessons. I went to, I went to West Virginia today. Not today. This week for aerial lift training, pole climbing school, basically what we call it. And you got to go there and get recertified every 3 years. And so one of the important things they teach us is that as far as your safety, is you got to have a plan for if you want to do a successful job and do it safely. You have to put together a plan. You have to analyze and look at what you're trying to accomplish, what's going to get in your way, what's going to hurt you, and how to avoid those things. And you got to put together a plan, and you got to work the plan. And if you work that plan until it don't work no more, then you stop and you rework the plan. But that's just a basic thing for life, and especially for finances and credit. We got the Time Magazine Person of the Year. What? What's up, Ice Water? Are you a Wu-Tang fan, Ice Water? I asked that because the Purple Tape, Raekwon had a song on there called Ice Water, and that thing was so fire. Oh my goodness. Everything on that Purple Tape was fire. Everything on that Purple Tape was fire. Your profile says high tech redneck, so you might not like Raekwon, but you might not. I know some rednecks that like Wu-Tang. Work your plan. And so if you're trying to improve your finances and credit, we've got the plan. All you have to do is work it. You work it. And you got to work the plan. So anyway, 2 things I was talking about. The reason why I got on this live, 2 things in the news about the credit bureaus I learned. First of which is the CFPB, pretty much the government's credit bureau is what ultimately it may come down to becoming. The CFPB, they're suing TransUnion because they're saying TransUnion using deceptive and misleading tactics to get people to sign up for credit services, selling personal information, stuff like that. So they're being sued. We're going to see what happens with that lawsuit. But it just highlights why you need to be educated on your credit, educated on your rights and how to take advantage of your rights. The second thing that you have to pay it, I got on here. The 3 bureaus are changing the way they report medical collections. They're making changes, so it's going to help they estimate 70% of the medical collections that are being reported on people's credit reports are going to be removed because of these changes. 70%. So that'll help a lot of people. And it's a couple of the changes. Instead of, all right, so if you have a medical bill that goes to collections, if you pay it within 6 months after July 1st, they will give you a year. So if you pay that medical collection within the year, it will not be reported on your credit bureau. Your credit report. The other, if the item is less than $500, the collection won't be reported. So they're giving you that year to pay the medical collection. If you have a medical collection on your credit report, well, Actually, if you have a medical bill that goes to collections, they're giving you a year to pay it before they report it on your credit bureau. So that's a good grace period that you can take advantage of. It won't hurt your credit. Now, if you do have a medical bill that went to collections and is over, right now, if it's over 6 months old, it's shown on your credit bill. If it's going to be over a year old by the time July 1st, then you need to holler at me and take advantage of this HIPAA violation set of letters that you can send in, warn the credit bureaus that the collection agency that their account is violating HIPAA. This what that series of letters does, and you threaten a lawsuit and you get it removed. I had a friend of mine, she used that letter. She had a $5,000 medical collection, $5,000. So she used my letter, my HIPAA violation letter, to get that removed. That was a big thing because medical collections can hurt your credit 126 points if you're in the 700 club, up to 60 points if you're in the 600 club. Either way, that's going to suck. If you're in this mid 700s and you drop 125 points, that's going to suck. And if you're in the 600s and you drop 60, if you hit 650 and you drop your score 60 points, you're in the 590s and you can barely even get a mortgage with that. So, big changes. Look forward to, hope it helps a lot of people. For those that tuned in, appreciate you tuning in, watching me, run my mouth. I'll get on live a little bit more. I got mad at somebody because somebody ruined not my last live, a live before last, and got me kicked out of my account for like a week. So I was pretty mad about that, but you can't be mad forever. You just gotta move on. I won't be showing my credit letters on live though. I think that was the big deal. I think that's what gets me in trouble. So if you want to see some of these letters, go to my website, set up a consultation, and I'll show them to you on Zoom or something like that. Or you can check out my YouTube videos. Check those out, and I show some of the letters on there. I actually have a brand new video on my YouTube channel. You just go to my profile, click the link. I've got my new credit video listed on my I've got my YouTube channel listed on my website, so you can go there to see my new video where I break down the credit system, how it works, why it's so important to get started with it if you're got bad credit. So very important because so much stuff can happen within a year and you want to be ready for it. I use this, and I'm not just selling this system just to be selling. It's something I've used. It's a system I've used personally. Green leaf veggies. We got healthy folks up here. Tell them stop playing. Hey, I was talking about two things. CFPB suing TransUnion about some of the foolishness they were doing with people's personal information. In the 3 bureaus, they're going to change the way medical collections are being reported. They're going to make changes that's going to help 70% of medical collections come off of people's reports. So if you've been in a hospital and you have a bill that goes to medical collections, you have a year. Well, after July 1st, you'll have a year to pay it. And they pay that collection and it won't put on your report. Currently it's 6 months. Also, after July 1st, if you have a medical collection that's over $500, it won't be reported. Under $500, they won't report it. So people can take advantage of those changes, and people look forward to what's going to happen with this lawsuit against TransUnion. But anyway, I was telling people my credit, on my DIY system, I used it to remove 4 collections myself. I went from the low 500s to the mid 700s, and still going. So I'm going to appreciate everybody giving me the likes. I'm going to keep using this system till I get to the 800s. I'm going to keep on using the system because it's a system it's a big deal for me. And I've used it. Some of my friends have used it. My brother, he removed 4 or 5 collections. I had another friend of mine remove 10 negative items on his credit report. I just had a friend named Bonnie. She removed $67,000 worth of student loans, another $50,000 worth, $75,000 worth of medical collection was removed. She was in the high 400s when she started this thing. Her score is 853. Just saw it today. She just had it updated today. And she used this system. I use this system. My friends use this system that walks you step by step. You just watch the videos. Instead of Netflix and chilling, you just get on here and you watch the videos and then you apply what you learn. Video number 1, pull your credit reports. Video number 2, you freeze your secondary bureaus. Your LexisNexis, your Sage Stream, your ARS, your there's another one. I didn't forget what it is, but there's 4 of them, 4 big ones, and the reason why you want to do that is because, you know, especially if you got items like public records, like repos, evictions, bankruptcies, you freeze them secondary bureaus. Those secondary bureaus are what's sending that information up to the 3 credit bureaus. So you freeze those accounts, and then when you go to dispute them, you have a shot. You have a shot. You have a good shot to get that item removed. Number 3, check your report for errors. Your credit reports will have all kinds of stuff on there. Old addresses, old employers, all kinds of names misspelled. You might even have an ex-wife or an ex-husband on your credit report. Their address. You can get that stuff removed. Yep. This online system shows you how to do that. Number 3, number 4 shows you how to dispute negative items. Those the incorrect data, you can dispute it. The medical collections, you can dispute it. The repos, eviction, all sorts of negative items you can dispute using the dispute letters. And our system has a feature that writes the thing for you. All you do is put your information in, it spits it out. And then after you get some negative items cleaned up, it teaches you how to rebuild your good credit, how to lower your utilization, how to go about setting up good accounts to build your credit. I've used this system to increase my score from the 500s to the 700. So I'm not only a client, I'm the player president. So I use the system, and many other people are using the system. My friend Bonnie uses the system. We have people every week that are just getting stuff removed. Yesterday, we just had one of our new members remove $40,000 worth of student loans off their credit report. You go back to some of my TikToks so you can see it. Explain the system, please. Okay, so it's an online do-it-yourself credit repair system. It's an online course. And what you do is our members, we go in. What? Tell them stop playing. Yeah, that's facts. I should have been paying attention to stop playing. Break down what you were asking about what. But Green Leafy. So it's an online system. So what I do is for example, what I did, when I got started, I logged into the system. And you have video. It's a 6-step course that you log in that has both online training and videos that walks you step by, that tells you what to do. So, for example, step number 1, there's a video explaining to you where to go to get your credit reports the proper way, not on Credit Karma or any app. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but the official place to get your credit reports and yourcreditreport.com. So the system breaks down where to do that and how to do that. There's 2 places you can get it, annualcreditreport.com or MyFICO if you want the report and the score. And there's video training on how to do that. So that's step number 1. It shows you how to do that. Step number 2, it educates you on the secondary bureaus that are reporting and sharing your information. And it shows you it tells you, breaks down what they do, the importance of freezing secondary bureaus and how you go about doing. Gives you the links to go about stop freezing your secondary accounts. And if you can follow directions, you can get results. Now, I say that like a piece of cake. If you can follow directions, you get results. But how many times have you kind of I know myself, I haven't always followed the directions, and then you pay the price. But with this system, you follow directions, you can get results. And people that follow directions, that's exactly what they do. They get results. 3, it tells you what types of things can be wrong or will be wrong on your credit report, what sorts of things you mark as negative items, what sorts of things you identify as errors, and you jot those things down. It helps to put your game plan together. Remember, I mentioned something about making a plan and working your plan. So that's what step number 3 is about. Step number 4 walks you step by step on how to write up a dispute letter, where to send it, the time frames that you send it, who to send it to, breaks it all down, even writes the letters for you. You put your information in, it spits out the letter, and you mail it as to the credit bureau's certified mail, as mentioned in the directions. So it's an online system, has 26 videos, all the credit pre-written dispute letters, the training, support is all included. So when you become a member of the income shifting membership, you get access to the My Credit system. So the system gives you credit training. It also gives you training on how you can increase your take-home pay at your job, how many people can do that, which is another strategy itself, so that you can take that extra money and pay down your utilization. So that's a quick synopsis of the system. Every person, every new member gets access to the system. They get their own login and access to the system, and they download their dispute letters. They mail them off themselves instead of paying someone $80, $100, $200, whatever, to send those same letters off them for you. You just do it yourself. So hope that answers your question, Green Leafy. I'm gonna get up off of here in just a moment. Norbert's Brands was talking about 2 things. Number 1, TransUnion is being sued, a lawsuit, by the CFPB, the credit CFPB. So it's the Credit Federal CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is suing TransUnion. Because TransUnion, they feel like they've caught TransUnion being deceptive with their services, being deceptive with people's information. So we're going to see where that lawsuit goes. That just got filed a couple of days ago. I just heard about it this morning. And the 3 bureaus, they are changing the way medical collections are going to be reported on your credit report, potentially removing 70% of the medical collections that show up on reports now. It's potentially helping a lot of people, potentially increasing people's scores 100 plus points. Potential. The changes they are making. So right now, medical collection, if a medical bill goes into collections, if you pay it within 6 months, they won't be reported. After July 1st, they're going to extend that to a year. So that'll help some people. Excuse me. After July 1st, any medical collections that's $500 or lower, won't be reported. There was another step, and it's eluding my mind. But anyway, those are the two big ones. And that's big because medical collections can hurt your credit report 125 points. So that'll help some people. But now I'm going to get on off of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you want more information about my DIY system, go to my profile. You can text me directly, email directly. You can set up a consultation. You can check out my YouTube where I break it down. Appreciate you tuning in, and I will holler at y'all later. Peace.